you can keep going. Doesn't matter how many mistakes that you made or people feel that you made. You can keep going. I mean, that's the thing. You never get tired. You just keep going. Cheers, everybody. All right. First off, I've lost my voice, but the show must go on. And the show, obviously, you know, is about the year in review. And let's get into the year, 2022. 2022 started off with traveling. First, for starters, traveling to Miami, to home. What's up, 305 754 786, and all our other 954, all our area codes. Went down there for New Year's and built a stronger bond with family, if you will. Family has been created, you know, not the one you were born into, but the one that you created. And you learn so much when you have conversations. And I believe I started off this year cutting off people that were draining to me. I do remember that. I'm crazy enough to let them back in later on, but only for the same result, you know, like to happen. Put this down so we can get the party started. What I will say is that I learned about draining, things that's draining, and then, you know, it's like a part of you that's the old you that likes to forgive people, and doesn't always work that way. So what do you do in those moments? You have to assess what's beneficial to you. Everybody got to look out for themselves and what's best for them. Only you know what's best for you. And if someone is draining, you find them to be draining, then you weed their ass the fuck out. No questions asked. Because it is you that is, you know, it is that type of the draining energy, I would say the energy vampires, as my man Richard Cooper calls it, and the unplugged alpha. Those are the things that can prevent you from getting to where you need to be as far as success goes. So you have to get comfortable with pushing people out of your life. You know, again, that are not beneficial to you, that is. You know, just don't let anybody drain you. But what else did 2022 also bring? It brought traveling opportunity. Yeah, I just said, talk about traveling opportunities. But even more, not just home to Miami, but New Orleans. And that was an experience. First off, I got to see my dog, you know what I'm saying, from the Air Force. What up, Pablo? And it was a good time. You know, individual I went with, we had a great time. It was great to see the city. It was great to do a podcast out there. It was great to go on a helicopter for the first time. It was an experience, nevertheless. You know what I'm saying, meeting all my friends out there in New Orleans. And it was, yeah, just walking the streets of Bourbon Street. It was cold as fuck out there, but, you know, to see the culture, to see, and, you know, try different beers, to try different foods and things like that. I mean, if you haven't been to New Orleans, it is a place that you want to visit at least once in your life. You know, be careful, be cautious, because, you know, it can be a violent city depending on where you end up and all that, but just stay on your P's and Q's and everything should be good. What else happened? More traveling, Orlando, I went to see Batman when I was out there, and you know, I was rocking with my friends that's, you know what I'm saying, that live in the city, and good time watching Batman. Well, I mean, we really had a good time while out there. seeing it, that movie on the big screen. It's long, that movie, The Batman, is long as shit. But overall, it was solid. It was a solid performance by my man from like Twilight, and seeing him as like the Batman. He actually did well. We've seen 12 Batmans in 5 years, it feels like, right? With every new Batman movie that they got coming out, there's always some new nigga playing them and shit. But this one was actually good. I would say, I'll go on record in saying that my man that played the Riddler in this one, I can put his performance up there with Heath Ledger, like, as far as villains go. Like, there's Joker, there's Riddler, and then there's Bane. Bane, solid. They killed it. Those three guys, they killed it. But what else happened in 2022? More self-growth, being able to self-assess and check that ego as much as possible. And sometimes the ego can get the best of you and run amok. And then before you know it, you don't even know who you are anymore. And something just takes over. Like when you first start something, you're in control. After a while, it seems to be in control. And if you're not careful, if you're not cautious, if you're not cognizant, that thing will control you. But like all things that happen, they have a way of blowing up, and then you learn from those lessons. It's like a chemistry set. You know what I'm saying? You mix a certain ingredient with that ingredient, and pow. So I love when I have ego deaths. Does it feel embarrassing? To my ego, it does. To me, in the soul, that is, I learned so much from those opportunities to see myself for what I've allowed myself to be, based off fears or insecurities or trauma, whatever it is. But to get back in the proper mindset to attack, and grateful for everything that happens, no matter what. Whatever happens for good. And when you can see yourself, and you see yourself becoming, a man even more. Opportunities to have conversations with family and learn so much from them about your family, and seeing how trauma has affected not just one person, not just two, but everybody that you have conversations with. And you're not able to force somebody to go to therapy, but you can work on yourself, and you can be an example. And therapy has gotten much stronger over the months, the years. I'm very grateful to my therapist for allowing me to have a place where I can be unbiasedly listened to, not judged, and just continue to make progress in becoming a better man. There are days where I'm up, there are days where I'm down, but overall, there are days where I just keep going, and I'm still here. So, it's just, you just keep moving. Life has a way of showing you how strong you are, more than your fears. Your fears will come in a way, and they will try to tear you down, hold you back, limit you in your progress. But keep in mind, as Jim Rohn, eloquently explained, a tree grows as tall as it can. Humans are the only ones that don't live up to the best of their abilities. We as humans need to progress as much as we can in this life. And there's so many opportunities out there for us. We just have to push ourselves. And it's a mental game, truthfully. It's just us versus ourselves. You'd be surprised what you can do when you have to do it. Before, you might have thought you never could. Like, it becomes a part of your job, and then you have to do it. When I first started working at my job, there was this truck, a sweeper truck, right? And I would always see the sweeper truck driven by when I would live in Homestead. A guy, Max, God rest his soul, passed away. But Max used to drive a sweeper truck. And that shit just looked so fucking huge. It was a challenge. And when I got here, I learned that they actually wanted us to learn how to drive the sweeper truck. And I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm doubting myself already before I even get to it. And then I got out there, finally got into the truck. One of my coworkers kind of gave me the rundown as far as like what needs to be done. And before I knew it, I found a new place of peace for myself to kind of get out of the office, listen to a podcast, maybe listen to like some therapeutic music of some sort, or just listen to nothing, driving in nothingness, just having peace and doing my job. I mean, the truck started to get smaller to me. And that's the thing about our fears, the more we face them, the smaller they get. And it's amazing how life can be when you think you're not capable of doing something, and eventually you do. I just recently got back from Virginia, visiting my family before Christmas because I have to work and all that. But I was able to go to the pool out in Portsmouth. Shout out to P-Town at Portsmouth Naval Base, and the pool there is 13 feet. I've never been in a pool that high before. Now, when we have one base, like in Jacksonville, that one is 20 feet, but I've yet to swim at that one. But I kept getting to the edge, right where, the drop was, where the feet, it gets a little higher than 5 feet, which I'm used to going to, like, LA fitness gyms and a sport that, for every Wednesday, swims day. And I'm there, and I'm like, I think I should do it. At least once, and just do it, just go and do it. So what I do is I build up enough courage and just say, fuck it. Now, granted, I'm not gonna act like I'm, like a super He-Man or nothing like that. There was a lifeguard right there getting prepared just in case my big ass sunk to the bottom. But I still had to make the conscious effort to swim across. So that's what I did. I went into to the deep, and I swam across, and then I swam back to 5 feet, and it felt good. It felt good to do that, to conquer another fear, if you will. But that's the beauty of it. Something could have gone wrong. It could have been a risk. It was a risk taken. You have to take risk. I see that, as a part of me challenging myself, bettering myself, and making myself go the distance. In places where I wouldn't, being afraid to make mistakes, being afraid to look like a fool, being afraid to look like an idiot. All these ego-based fears that I would have. But just being able to bury yourself and get out there into the deep end and see what the fuck happens. And it worked. It worked out. It could have failed, but I didn't. I got more courage to go back and learn even more. Swimming to something that deep. That's what she said. And what else? 2022. 2022, we saw a lot of death again, in our lives. Just wild, like entertainment, like the Twitch thing is still something wild, what I'm saying? To think about Olivia Newton-John, and I think about that from childhood. My older cousin was a big fan of Grease. So sometimes whenever it would come on late night as kids, we always end up watching. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Why are these motherfuckers singing so goddamn much? Kid, they don't know any better, like fucking 7 or 8 years old. But eventually getting older as an adult and watching Grease, and finally understanding why it became the cult classic in which it is. Yeah, Travolta and Newton-John and their characters, and what they've done with it. And my little brother, once he got older, throughout his high school years, he became a part of the play Grease for his I think drama class or whatever the fuck it was. But it was cool to come home, see him be a part of that thing, and I knew all the songs and things like that. But losing her as a part of, it's crazy to get so old that you start to lose your childhood. Your childhood starts dying, and seeing different people pass away, and you're like, wow. What do you do in those moments when you live that long, to see things, people and things, more so people that you watch growing up pass away, family members passing away. In 2022, I lost an aunt, and it was a very sudden thing. I'm not going to say unexpected, but it was very sudden, and a lot that I didn't know about my aunt's conditions. But it was a time for family to come together and celebrate life, in which we do quite often. And it was more conversations, more healing conversations that were had, and it really brought time for me to get together and see my kid. It was great. Any chance I get to see my daughters, I light up about it. Truly an inspiration to me. And then really all my other, like I said, younger siblings, like my brother buying, his first house and stuff like that's inspiring. Like just to watch him grow from what he's come from, and to see him still pushing forward in his life, accomplishing goals. And that's the beauty of it. No matter what happens to you, everything happens for you. And it's up to you if you decide to let that be the deciding factor for your life. You can keep going. Doesn't matter how many mistakes that you made or people feel that you made. You can keep going. And I mean, that's the thing. You never get tired. You just keep going. What else? Air show. We had an air show at the job. My first time working it for the Navy base, and got to meet some pilots, talk with them, and hear their story on many things. And it was insightful, like the stuff that they've gone through, and their way to take on their fears. To fly that damn high in the sky, and at daring heights, coming down low very, very fast. And it was great. Meeting, seeing various people, seeing them come out, talking about their aircraft to all the patrons that came to the air show, and allowing people to come up and kind of like see them, touch them, like animals or nothing, but get to see them in person and shake their hands and stuff like that. And they do it with a smile on their face because they have a love for like flying and shit. Seeing the Blue Angels, of course about, if anybody knows about the Navy and aviation, the Blue Angels are like, they're the Beatles of aviation for the Navy. And it was cool to see what they do. I'm sure everybody in the city of Jacksonville remembers all that fucking noise on those 3 days or 4 days. One when they was practicing, and 3 when they were doing the air show. But it was a lot of work, and I got to see my coworkers come together and build and turn our airfield that is purely just nothing but open space into a fucking forum for aircraft coming in. You know what I mean? We had a whole bunch of kiosks and food trucks and things there, people selling shirts and all these things, and just doing this, and you really just see what your job is and like what it does for the people. And it was cool. Friends showed up there. I had my best friend come all the way from Homestead to Miami, to come up and see the show. So it just shows like what it brings everybody. It brings everybody from all parts of the world to come and see the beauty of aviation and things that we do in airfield management. Growing as a unit with your coworkers takes work. It takes a lot of broken eggs to make an omelet. And I feel like we're finally starting to find that chemistry, that gel, where everybody's strengths and weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? And I equate that with like just any family, or being around some people for a long period of time and learning to work together. And just, it's all about your attitude. If you come to work and you have the attitude like you don't want to be there, it's going to show in your work. So it's like coming there and wanting to just be a part of the team and make things happen. yeah, and you know what I'm saying, back to people that have come in and out of the, you know, say like my life. It's all lessons. You know, everyone comes into your life to kind of give you lessons, if you will. And I've seen so many lessons, thankfully, to the people that I've met, you know, that come, that the universe has allowed me to meet and see and hear their story and know so much about them. You know, it's insane what you can learn just from a conversation with someone without judgment, you know, without any form of expectation from them. Just listening. Have like almost, I guess the best way to have it is called airport conversation. You know, like you're in the airport, you guys aren't going anywhere for like an hour, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours. And you just somehow or another, somebody creates the conversation, starts the conversation. And then you don't know them, so you don't really expect them to say this, you don't expect them to say that. You just listen to them talk and tell their story. And if they're kind enough, they'll let you do the same thing. You know, they don't cut you off or, you know, try to hog the conversation. But to have conversations with people and see, you know, where they came, you know, how far they come from and how far they have to go, the goals they have set out for themselves, the things that they've done. I like being down in the dumps, feeling suicidal, being trapped in life, and then finding the courage to leave all that shit and proceed and go, you know, push forward and make things of themselves. Like I said, I've seen people, I've met people rather, and seen them feel like they had no hope. And then you have a conversation with them and they feed off the energy that you have and see more for themselves. And it's not about you, it's about the knowledge, the wisdom that you possess, if anything. And so when that happens, you know, they are able to do that for somebody else. So therefore people can heal from that. And, you know, a lot about 2022 is feeling like, you know, you feel like people are friends to you. And then, you know, you learn things later on. When, you know, once they're done, how they actually feel about you. And that's okay. It has nothing to do with you. It's everything that they're going through. And when those moments do happen, you just wish them positive and healing energy going forward. Do not take anything personal, what happens in this life. Never, ever. Don't make assumptions on nothing. Anything you want to know, just ask. You know, that person, have the courage to ask that person. Now, you have the right to ask, but they have the right to not answer or say no or whatever it is. And that's something we have to remember when we get into conversation with people, because it's about boundaries and healthy boundaries. And this year was more use of healthy boundaries. Going back to traveling, I got to go to California. You know, I went out to California and I got to go to Hollywood. I got to see Michael Jackson star. I got to see Lucille Ball star and Hall & Oates and a few other people that I admire through music and film. And but it was good. I got to hike in the mountains. You know, hiking in the mountains and seeing the ocean. It was such a great experience. I'm grateful for my friends out there that enabled me to do that. I want to say that the universe has definitely provided me with a lot of souls that I've met to do a lot of things that I never thought I could do. Going to Nevada, Fallon, Nevada, and seeing, you know, not bison, the fuck am I saying? Like longhorns. That was so cool to see longhorns and see the Navy in the desert. You know, it's a base that's made in the desert. And I got to see, you know, kids, and you know, it's like a nephew to me, practice football, and of course his big sis, and their mom, and you know, what I mean, and everyone else in the family that you know and love, and it was such a good time to see family come together. Yeah, they have their issues, we all fucking do, but to come together, go out for Mexican food, have drinks, and just vibe, you know. It was real chill. I also got to go to Memphis and check out the Civil Rights Museum, and grateful for my friend that lives out there in Memphis that allowed me to go out there and try Memphis food, and see the area where King got shot. And what's crazy about me on that shit is that I saw people taking selfies at a death at a crime scene. I mean, it's dark humor. You know what I mean? Laugh at it, but it is so crazy how us as a society, and it's not to say that I wouldn't take, like I don't take selfies or anything like that, but just to see how we as humans, how what we allow ourselves to do. And I've seen, as I saw people taking selfies right there in front of like I said, the area where King was shot. And then they showed where King was shot, like the bathroom, where the guy or James Earl Ray or the government, whichever one it is, they were in the bathroom or whatever, across from the hotel. And, it's just amazing to see these things. And it's happened like over close to 60 years now, I think. Yeah, close to 60 years ago, this happened. And the history is so rich in the area, and knowing the struggle of our people, Black people, and where we come from, trying to just be treated as human in an inhumane society. How crazy is that? Looking for humanity in an inhumane world here in America, especially during that time frame. The fears of white people, some white people, white supremacy, and seeing our black skin and feeling inferior to that, seeing us with their women, seeing our women with their men, and feeling some type of way about that. But it's just things you just learn of just wanting to be treated with respect, equality, if you will. All in all, there will never be equality in the world. It just won't. The power structure in the world will never allow equality to happen. But we can treat people with respect. There may not be equality, but we can learn. We can practice kindness, and we can treat people with respect. But it's just a good time, man. Rocking with Black folk, going out for like Halloween and stuff, just chilling. Going to different restaurants, man. Try some good food this year. Italian spots. I love Italian food. I could never have enough of Italian food. So I got to see so many different things. Met new people. Just kind individuals, man, in life, and just seeing them blossom to change their, I would say, their attitude about life after befriending them, and seeing them just grow each day, each week, and doing more for others, and having a big fucking heart to just do for others, but ultimately learning to do for self. That is, that's the joy of living, and each day is a separate life. It's just been great. 2022, I didn't really follow much on, take it back. The Super Bowl. Yeah, seeing Cincinnati damn near beat the Rams. It's just a great time. Actually going ice skating with my godson, and that was great to do. Seeing him go ice skating, it was just so much fun. It was for my god baby's birthday, and it was crazy is that my boy's girl, I didn't realize how well she could skate, and she kind of reminded me of a skill needed in order to skate well on the ice. And you gotta remember to keep your knees bent so that the skate, a lot, like, you're looking back at it like, well, duh, right? But to remember that, and then it was just so much fun seeing all of us out there, the whole family, ice skating in Miami at that, an ice skating rink in Miami. But super chill to be there with my god babies, man. And I love our relationship that we have. Truthfully, obviously we might not talk much when I'm not there, but when I'm in the city, to see their faces light up as mine lights up when I see them, and being in the pool, lounging out, not worrying about anything, being away from the phone. It's just dope, man. Really sitting there chilling, like seeing different, like I said, just seeing different things. I don't know. I'm super grateful for the many opportunities and experiences that I've had this year, ups and downs, challenges that I've had mentally, and I look forward to the next year, 2023, and what's to come. For me, again, expanding the show as much as I can, trying to monetize it, whether the YouTube show, the podcast, and getting my friends involved, being able to share their story, because I get to hear it all the time, and I tell them that their story can change so many people's lives, man. I love seeing their growth right before me. They don't know that they're healing just by sharing their stories at times. But that's one of those things that they teach you in therapy, is kind of like being able to share your story. Well, Brene Brown actually is where I learned that, not in therapy, but practically like therapy too. But Brene Brown, saying like your story is your strength, and being able to have the courage to kind of share that with whoever you choose to share that with is phenomenal strength. Yeah, I just want to say that 2023 has so much to offer all of us. And we're going to make change. A lot of us didn't make it to the end of the year, unfortunately, due to COVID or whatever thing, death, period, And we'll continue to live on for them, because that's what they would do if they were here. And learning to forgive, letting go. So back, one thing back on 2022, and then we'll get back into 2023. This year was about learning the art of letting go and moving forward, no attachments, appreciating the moments that you have with people right then and there. Do not take that for granted, because they can be gone tomorrow. You can be smiling, laughing with them, and then they very well can be gone like tomorrow. Any grudges that you have with anyone, family, friends, whatever, something that happened a long time ago, do your best to learn how to let it go. Like whatever your thoughts are, you're going to stay, that's going to stay with you. Like if you just keep thinking about the pink elephant, that pink elephant is just going to stay there in your head. And there's more to life than the pink elephant, art of letting go of people, letting go of things, letting go of pain, so that you can live, man. And it's a beauty to be able to just live without having to, dwell on the past. Not perfect by any means, and still work in progress, but overall, the ability to just let it go. It comes, it comes in handy. So, getting back to 2023 outlook, more traveling, getting back into tattoos again is what I would like to do. Reading books, more books, attaining more knowledge. You want to know where a person is in their life, check out their library, what they're reading, what they engage with. Watch your diet, not just what you're eating, but what you're reading, what you're watching on television, what you're scrolling through on social media. Like what is it doing for you? Is it benefiting you, or is it draining you? Is it distracting you? It's either beneficial or it's a distraction, one of the two. So just staying with that. I don't know, losing fat in the gym. I'd say that's for sure. So it means more discipline in the diet, and I'm built for it. I'm built for it. But just continue to push forward and try to see what can be done in the gym. Effort over reward. Financial goals, saving more money, buying a home, that's a big thing for me this year. Learning to buy a home, so I look forward to that. Yeah, looking forward to to buying a home, so get away from like the apartment shit, like not having to worry about people parking in a parking spot, sharing a parking spot. Of course, there's more that comes with it. You're more responsible for like your HVAC and all the financial shits that come with that. Building stronger relationships with the people that I've encountered in life that wish to be here. Anybody want to leave, let them the fuck go. They can be gone. Yeah, there's no need to chase anybody. You know what I'm saying? If somebody doesn't want you in their life, let them go, for real. Music, getting back into making music, getting back into doing the things that I loved, like I said, from childhood. Occasionally playing video games, not all the time, because I'm very productive, so I feel like I have to work on something. I have to read something every day. I'm constantly learning something every day, listening to inspirational stuff and motivational things. Simplifying my life, as much as possible, because that dopamine, it just eats at you. It eats at me, for sure. Where I can get caught up and I can spend hours on my phone and just not being productive. I'll have conversations and they're great conversations, but I could have been working on the next big thing for my life and getting to a next level of success. I say again, working on improving the relationship with my kid, improving my relationship with my family, and that doesn't just mean the family I was born into, but the family I've created. Thankfully, here in Jax, down in Miami, you know what I mean. Just working to what I can do to be a better person, really. So, in closing, I hope everybody has a safe New Year, whatever you intend on doing. Make goals. Write down your goals. Write down the things that you want, the person that you want to be. Write down, an agenda every day. We got so much going on in our lives with our cell phones, our electronics, and it's just a lot for our brains to digest, those neurons that are getting created where we're on dopamine overload. But if we're able to write things down, it does less, our brain does less work. So I recommend, writing down your goals for the year. If you don't know the whole year, at least the first 6 months, and goals that you want to do. Realistic goals, and some that are challenging too, to make you push yourself. But our mind goes whatever we're focusing on. So if we know we got goals, we know that's what we want, that's where we're going to be. So write down the things that you want in life. Make goals for yourself, 2023 goals, short-term, long-term, yearly goals that you want to do, bucket lists. Find your passion. If you haven't found that yet, find your passion. And how can you go about working towards your passion? And, I know you keep your mind to it, that it will come to you. Learn to express better boundaries with yourself and people, because you gotta love yourself. You gotta love yourself more than others do. People will treat you just any kind of way if you let them. So practice, healthier boundaries with yourself and others. It's the way that you love them and yourself simultaneously. So don't feel bad about setting boundaries. There's power in the word no. Continue to uphold that for yourself, and teach your kids especially. Teach them to have healthy boundaries early. We didn't have that shit growing up, you know what I'm saying? Kind of just had to come along and do what was told of us by our parents, and they didn't really teach us that shit. They didn't know themselves. But teach your kids to have boundaries. Teach your kids the power of no. Teach your kids that they're loved unconditionally, and love your kids unconditionally. Not just say it, but do it. Just show it with action. Love is an action word. I repeat, love is an action word. So, do that. All in all, 2023, we look forward to what's to come. Thank everybody for being a part of this movement. you know what I'm saying, of wisdom and knowledge and healing is what we try to do here, like for the Astral YouTube series and the and all the podcasts in which we have, you know what I'm saying, for J.E.T.Sense. I look forward to working with some of you and hearing your story so that you can help others heal. You'd be surprised what people can learn from your story, and maybe even inspire you to do your own podcasting or YouTube show or whatever the fuck you want to do that you feel like is a contribution to our society and improving it. But from Romy Mac, everybody at J.E.T.Sense has been a part of it. And let me do that. Let me thank everybody that was on shows this year. Shout out to Kels. Shout out to Bees for being on the show. Shout out to Alex introducing her this year. Thank you to D&B for doing, a show with me. Who else did random shit? I'm just thinking, who else done it? So many. I apologize if I forgot. Phillips, Troy. You know what I'm saying? Like Grimo. Be sure to check out Grimo's music too. Check out Grimo's music. You know what I'm saying? Evan. My brother from another man. Being able to, work with you, different podcasts and things. Shout out to my kid, man, for being such an inspiration to your father in so many ways. I love you so much, baby. And we'll continue to work towards our successes in life. I see you at the top. I love you unconditionally, no matter what, whether you become a success or whether you're not. Your love right now, just in this moment. My friends, like I said, that I've created, that practically is becoming family. Thank you guys so much for the conversations that we've had, the arguments that we've had, the blow-ups that we've had, the makeups that we've had, and just truly grateful, man. Truly grateful for the many blessings. Thank you to all the mentors, Jay Shetty, Brene Brown, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Jocko Willink, so many people that have helped shift my mindset for better things. But all in all, thank you to everyone who doubted that that this could be something. Thank you to everyone who believed in it. Thank you for those that are coming and going, and thank you for those that have shared any of this content with your social media walls, your friends, family, in hopes that we all can heal, create a conversation so that we all can heal, and even more to it. So salute to everybody. Happy New Year, all that stuff, and I'll see you next year.